Okay, so this video is about Uber drivers that'll leave you on the side of the road without even talking to you. Didn't have an argument with you. You didn't look at him weird or say anything to him that was strange. But because of how he perceives you, he just drives off. And unfortunately, it tends to be a lot of East Africans that do that. I've never had a driver that was not East African do that to me. One West African actually put me out of his vehicle one morning when I really needed to get to work on time. And he was going by the app's directions, and I know the city. I'm from here a long time deep. So I asked if he would make a left short of where the app was telling him. And he was basically telling me, well, I'm going to follow the app. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I got to get to work. And you trying to follow an app that's taking us all around the world before we get to my destination. And I was trying to be as calm as I could in my request to ask him to make the left. He pulls right up to where he couldn't possibly make the left and tells me to get out when I need to get to work and on time. So, to go back to my main subject, which is about Uber drivers that will leave you on the side of the road. Don't mind the phone, I'm not going to answer it. I have tried to go to school over the last couple of years and also tried to keep a job and here or there while I work as a hairstylist. And what's very sad is when you're down to a half an hour of trying to get to some location and the Uber driver pulls up, looks up, see you, cancels a trip, and keeps going. That's very disturbing for me because a lot of the time their name reflects the fact that they could be Ethiopian or Eritrean. And sometimes I'm not so sure that the Somalians do that, but I'm pretty sure that the Ethiopians and possibly Eritreans would do that. And what's really sad about it is when I first got here a couple years, no, well, not a couple years ago. I got here 2013 to actually bury my mom. And I would have to take the cab quite often. And the cab company at that time was mostly East African. And the management at the cab company had become pretty much mostly East African, except for a voice that I could hear that seemed like it was an American voice, like Anglo, like white. And many years ago, growing up in Seattle, the cab company was predominantly American, white and black, and you could expect a black person to roll up, to the store wherever you are, help you with your bags, get you to your location, and help you with your bags, whether you were tipping or not. And these days, we hear so much about tipping. We are tipping. And we're not getting the service that we once got in the past. You get drivers that actually try to put your groceries down on the sidewalk. And, also these days we have a lot of people with dogs or people using dogs for medical reasons, like dogs help them throughout their lives. But they use the restroom on the pavement. And this is where the Uber driver wants to leave your groceries. And that makes me really crazy because the last thing I want is my food bag, whether the ground is wet or dry, left on the ground, because maybe my food is not getting harmed from it, but I have an imagination that won't quit. And when I think of germs and fungus, I mean, I'm a hairstylist. I've got to think about fungus. Because so many people nowadays have fungus because the industry is so unregulated. And so when the Uber driver tries to leave my food on the ground, I'm just like, excuse me, if you can't hold the bag, at least let the bag sit in your trunk until I can get my groceries out. And they really don't even want to wait for you, even though if the meter is ticking past a certain amount of time, they're being paid for that. And they'll try to pretend and act like they're not being paid for that, and they are. So they can actually wait for you so that you can get your things if he's not willing to help. I've had so many drivers tell me that, oh, I got a back problem, I can't help you. Or that's not going to fit in my car. But then the person that helped me to carry it to the car from the store will say, it is going to fit in your car. I don't even have to tell the driver anything. The person that helped me carry my things to the car will speak up on my behalf. And it's very disturbing that when I get a trip and I see his black face and I see that he could possibly come from East Africa, I have to screenshot the trip just in case he drives off and leaves me so I can report it to Uber or Lyft. And it's very disturbing that I have to do that. So I'm recommending to you, especially in Seattle, and I don't know what the issue is in Seattle with some of the East African drivers. I've had East African drivers that were not like that, that was glad to pick me up and talk to me and was very friendly. But I would have to say lately, most of them will leave you on the side of the road, struggling to get another Uber, and you don't even know who it was because you didn't expect that. So you didn't screenshot it, and so you can't say who it was. But I say do this: when you get a name that gives you the perception that they are from the East, I think that you should screenshot that trip, because there's been times when the driver took off and left me. I had already screenshotted it. I sent him a text showing him that I screenshotted it, and he turned back around and came back and got me. I knew he was going to leave me. I knew that he was trying to get far enough away so I could get upset and cancel the trip and be charged $5. But I'm telling you, screenshot your trips and turn those drivers in so that Uber and Lyft can get rid of those drivers. Now, I am a hairstylist, but I've started driving Lyft and Uber myself. And I'm all about service. I am a 5-star rating. And I hope I can maintain long-term being at least a 4-star rating. And I like to treat my customers with absolute respect. I would help anyone who needs help with their groceries. I can cater to anyone's music unless it's offensive to me. But I try to play a music in my car that everyone could be entertained by. I'm a concierge to Seattle, and I can tell you all about this city. And many times I do end up telling people about my city. It's my city. I grew up here. Long time I know the history. Many things that people that's only been here a year or two do not know. Back roads, alleys, all about this city. I got this, okay? Now, I like being a hairstylist, but being a hairstylist sometimes is slow. So I've picked up Uber and Lyft to make the difference. And I'm very happy with that decision. And I'm proud of being a good driver and knowing all about my city. But when you are taking Uber, from now on, you should screenshot. You should probably screenshot every trip. And if you didn't have a problem with that driver, then delete that picture so you can only keep pictures of the ones that you've had problems with, and go turn them in all at the same time. Because that's what really I actually do. I screenshot every single trip, no matter what they look like, no matter where they are from. Since I've had so many East Africans that were so messed up. Because you don't know who they're talking to and who they're influencing. And if they're influencing other drivers to treat people this way, and I don't know if it's because I'm a black person or a black woman, but I take offense to being treated that way, and I'm recommending that you screenshot every trip and delete the ones that are not a problem and turn in the ones that are a problem. Have a nice day.